So there's one more thing I want to show you, and I'm going to do some close-ups while I talk so that you can see exactly how it's done. But of course, to move the bow holder to the opposite end of the bow press, to make it fit, this bracket's got to be moved 90 degrees. So I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to show you exactly how that's done step by step, because you do have to kind of take this apart to be able to move everything so that it can work on the opposite end. This is not something I would feel you would do every day. You would need to choose one end or the other, where you want your bow holder. One end is kind of tailoring towards right-handed bows, one end is kind of tailoring towards left-handed bows, and you'll just have to choose which one of those you want to work on the most. And you can work on left or right, but for instance, on one end, if it's set up tailored for a right-handed bow, that means the modules on that bow are going to be towards you, which means you can visually see those a lot easier and check timing. On the left-handed bow, those modules are going to be on the opposite side, so you're having to kind of look through the strings and cables, which is, sometimes kind of a pain in the butt. So again, you just need to choose which end of the bow press you want your bracket on, and you can find out how to rotate the bracket on the drawboard through the LCA drawboard video. You just loosen 3 bolts, rotate the bracket 90 degrees, put it back together, and you can put it on the opposite side. So I'm going to go ahead and take this bow holder, put it on the opposite end, install it, and then start moving the pieces around so that you can see exactly how it works. On the opposite end, it normally goes in this direction. That's obviously not going to work because the bow needs to sit in this way. So you rotate the bracket 90 degrees, and it's a little tighter on this end, which means, as you know, the tolerances of the metal tubing to the angle iron sometimes is different. So that just goes to show that sometimes you need different space filler depending upon which end of the press you're on. So on this end, here's what we have. So we've got to kind of rearrange all these parts so that everything fits. You're going to loosen your thumb screw here until it lets loose from this side plate. You're going to pull this completely out. And I'm going to sit it up here next to my mag strip, and this is where I'm going to put all my screws. We have magnetic trays as well, but my mag strip, it's holding my Allen wrenches and my knife blades, my snips. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and loosen this screw here, which is the bow gripper. So we've got a side plate and a bow gripper off. Screw there, bow gripper here. Try to keep exactly that from happening, all these parts from falling. Take the side plate off, and then we're going to loosen the screw that is holding the stainless steel rod. Loosen that screw, pull the stainless steel rod out. Now we're going to loosen the 2 screws on the front of the bow holder. And if you mount it and just, have it in the mounted position, it makes it a little bit easier so that you're not having to hold all these pieces. But you're going to loosen this elevation bar. Once loose, pop it off. So I've got the elevation bar here, and it's ready to be put on this bracket in this direction. So I'm just going to hand tighten this to begin with. I'm going to get my second bolt off my mag strip. I'm going to put this bolt in as well. And this has been designed in a way that even if you have your limb lock kit bracket on, this still clears completely. So as we go to tighten this down, we are going to adjust it. I'm going to adjust it a little bit higher than that. Loosen these up. Adjust it up or down depending upon where you want it. And then you're going to put your steel bar back out. And one feature of this, which you can really see now, is there's a line on this bar right here. That line will align here on the outside of your elevation bar. What is that line, you ask? This line makes sure that your bow gripper is dead in line with your string of the Gen 1 or the strap of the Gen 2 drawboard. This is your alignment point when you're moving it in or out, that line right there. Now you can go further out or further in. that is okay, but just know that when you're using the spacer on the opposite end, this is your alignment point. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. I'm going to align it with my alignment line, lock it down, and then you want to take the side plate that has the threads. So you can look, there are two side plates. One has threads, one does not. So you're going to go ahead and take this thumb screw and this spring off. But you're going to take the side plate with threads and put it on first. And you're going to put it in this direction because the bow is going to sit here. Then you're going to take your bow gripper, again, putting it this direction. And then you'll take the other side plate. Except I'm going to go ahead and put the thumb screw in like this. And I'm going to slide the spring on. So you've got a side plate. So this is the orientation. And push it back in. Once you get the hang of doing this, you could probably do it in 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. When you're not doing it in the way that I'm doing it now, just trying to show it on camera. But it's still something you're probably not going to want to do every day just because of it's kind of tedious. But then you're going to put the screw back in your bow holder in the back side here. Tighten it down. And voila, everything is good to go. You've got your elevation bar on the opposite side. Your bow holder is on the opposite side of the bow press. You can put the bow in right here in the bow holder just like you would on the opposite end. So it's that simple. You just have to rotate the bracket 90 degrees and then rearrange the parts so that they fit just like this. So check this out. If you need to move the precision bow holder to this end to where you put your bow in, and then all of the extra stuff on the bow will be facing outward, this is how you do it. Last but not least, now that I know all of this is in the correct location, I did not want to put this on before just because you have to kind of push this rubber over your rod. I wanted to be sure everything was in place, everything was good. I'm going to take my Allen wrench, loosen this, pull your windage adjustment bar out, your stainless steel rod, and you're just going to, in essence, wedge. I'm going to put it right here so you can see. You're just going to wedge this end hole in the rubber over the bar, and I'm going to push it. It is a little snug, which it's supposed to be. The fit is supposed to be pretty snug on there. And of course, you face it forward, you orient it forward. I'm going to go ahead and push this inward as far as I can get it. I'm going to put the the windage bar back, put it right in line with my alignment mark, lock it down. And now I have this fully assembled back on the opposite end of the bow press, bracket rotated, all of this reoriented so that the bow can sit here with your drawboard coming this way. So it's just personal preference. You just can determine what works better for you and the bows that you're doing. But this is how you swap the bracket to the opposite end, and everything is set and ready to go.